Welcome back to Disciple Dojo. We're continuing our Judaism January. Every year we spend January looking particularly at Jewish resources, talking with Jewish authors or Jewish scholars. And in this video, I want to let you know about a resource that I just picked up, although it's been out for a while, but it's worth having on your radar, and that is the Erdman's Dictionary of Early Judaism, edited by John J. Collins and Daniel Harlow. And I actually got this. My dad just retired from pastoral ministry after almost 50 years, and I was down in Georgia helping him clear out his library. And my dad had tons of books, maybe literally a ton of books that have to do with Judaism, the Hebrew Bible, Jewish studies. That's always been an area that's been near and dear in our family. And so I was going through and I was pulling out some of the resources from his library that he was no longer going to use that I wanted to have here in Disciple Dojo's library. And then the rest we just had to box up because I don't have enough room on my shelves for all of what I wanted to take from his library. But this is a resource definitely that caught my eye, and I actually just used it in prepping for an upcoming video here on the channel. So I thought, let me just show it to you guys. So as we jump in, if you appreciate reviews like this, if you appreciate any of the other stuff that we do here at Disciple Dojo, from teaching to interviews with scholars and authors to our ridiculous superhero seminary videos, that's why I have all the toys behind me, by the way. Check out that playlist. If you appreciate any of this, then it would be amazing if you would click that little subscribe button. And when you do, tap the bell that enables notifications. Can't tell you guys how much that helps us as a YouTube channel. Okay, let's look at this resource. So here is what the spine looks like. The back, what are we going to find inside? Well, this basically consists of two things. It consists of essays and dictionary entries, because it is a dictionary. You have a list of the consulting editors, and they're from places like Hebrew University in Jerusalem, Harvard University, Haifa University, Bar Ilan University, UCLA Berkeley, Princeton, University of Toronto, New York University, University of Iowa, and Notre Dame. Then you have the detailed list of contributors, and it tells you which article, which entry they were responsible for. Some that caught my eye, David Awney, he's the New Testament professor at Notre Dame. He did the one on miracle and miracle workers, as well as the entry on prophecy, which is fitting because David Awney did the 3-volume commentary on Revelation in the Word Biblical Commentary series. John Barclay at Durham wrote the ones on assimilation, acculturation, accommodation, apostasy, grace, Josephus against Apion. James D.G. Dunn, Jimmy Dunn, also over at Durham, did the entry on the Jesus movement. Peter Enns, you might recognize him from the Bible for Normal People. He did the Lives of the Prophets. Michael Fox, well-known Jewish scholar, he did the entries on Esther and the Greek version of Esther. You also have E.P. Sanders, famous scholar of Second Temple Judaism, particularly as it relates to the Apostle Paul and the New Testament. He did the article on Jesus of Nazareth. And Adelia Arbro Collins did the article on blasphemy. So it's a wide array of scholars, both Jewish and Christian, and it gives you all of the list of all the articles that you're going to come to in alphabetical order first. This is how many there are. Then it lists them topically. So if you have a particular topic like Hebrew Bible, Apocrypha, Pseudepigrapha, and Hellenistic text, Dead Sea Scrolls, Philo, Josephus. Then there's a list of maps. There are not a ton of maps in it, but some of the articles have maps to go along with it. Then there's a chronology of what they call early Judaism. I mean, that's what this is, the Dictionary of Early Judaism. So what is early Judaism? Well, it's basically what we call Second Temple Judaism. But it kind of is a little bit more than that. It begins 538 BC to 532 BC. That's when Palestine was ruled by the Persians. And then 516 or 515, Jerusalem temple rebuilt, the traditional date. So from the building of the temple after the Babylonians came in, destroyed it, exiled the southern kingdom of Judah, then Persia sent them back. They returned, Ezra and Nehemiah. They rebuilt the temple. So it's everything from around that time, the Second Temple, which is why it's called Second Temple Judaism, all the way up to the editing of the Mishnah, which is 200 AD. So after the Bar Kokhba revolt that did not end well. When Rome came in and they had already destroyed Jerusalem and the temple, and then there was one final surge and one more rebellion under, I think Simon ben Kosheba was his name, but he was nicknamed Bar Kokhba, son of the star, because he was seen as, the Messiah who was going to be the star that would arise and rule the world. It didn't happen. And so that was 132 to 135 is when that rebellion was finally put down. And that's when early Judaism moved into solidly being rabbinic Judaism. No more temple priesthood. The focus was instead on synagogue and Torah study throughout the diaspora. So then you have abbreviations, and then the essays begin. I'm just going to show you the essays. I have not read all of these essays. I've read some of them, but I just have been too busy to go through all of this. And this is, you can tell, this is a thick resource. But here are the essays. Early Judaism and Modern Scholarship by John J. Collins. And this kind of lays out what early Judaism is as opposed to other forms of Judaism. Jewish History from Alexander to Hadrian. This is by Chris Seaman. The different periods, the different rulers that came and ruled over the Maccabean Revolt, the Hasmonean Dynasty, Herod, the First Jewish Revolt, all the way to the Bar Kokhba Revolt. And each essay, by the way, has an extensive bibliography at the end. Then James Vanderkam has Judaism in the Land of Israel. It's about the festivals, the institutions, the different groups, the literature. Eric Grun has Judaism in the Diaspora. Eugene Ulrich, Jewish Scriptures, Text, Versions, and Canon. Then James Kugel has an essay, Early Jewish Biblical Interpretation. Then The Apocrypha and the Pseudepigrapha by Lauren Stuckenbrock. After that, Ebert Tigkalar. Sorry if I'm butchering this name, but this person has an article on the Dead Sea Scrolls. Then Cattell Berthelot has Early Jewish Literature written in Greek. Then Jürgen Zangenberg has Archaeology, Papyri, and Inscriptions. After that, Miriam Pucci Ben Ziv has Jews Among Greeks and Romans. We come to Daniel Harlow's essay, Early Judaism and Early Christianity. Next up, Lawrence Schiffman, Early Judaism and Rabbinic Judaism. And then after that, we come to the dictionary entries. And this is just like an encyclopedia. It's alphabetical. One of the entries that I used in particular, last night in fact, was the entry on Josephus. I'm going to be looking at an account by Josephus from his volume, The Jewish Wars. And so I was reading and getting some background. It was a really, really helpful overview. Like, who was Josephus? Well, he was actually born Yosef bar Mattityahu in Jerusalem in 37 CE. He fought against the Romans, then he surrendered, and then he joined the Romans, and then he started writing and producing and being sort of a, liaison between the Roman Empire and his Jewish heritage. So it talks about his works, how he's been received and interpreted throughout history. And then there's entries on each of his works. So his final work, Against Apion, there's an entry on that. His Jewish Antiquities, there's an entry on that. And then the one that I was most interested in is Jewish War. That's the volume that I was looking at. And so there's a great article. It gives the date, it tells what's in it, the setting, the audience, the purpose, and then the reception and the significance, why it matters. And then there's a long bibliography at the end if you want to go deeper. So this is a really good resource for that kind of, especially for a lot of Protestants. We just see the years between Malachi and Jesus as nothing happened. But actually, a lot happened and continued to happen up until after the time of the New Testament. And so this resource, all of the essays and all of the entries in it have to do with what were those people at the time thinking about, writing about, discussing, how did they interpret scripture, what were the different messianic movements, because there were a lot of those, what were the different revolts against the different empires that ruled over them, from the Seleucids all the way up to Rome. Who are some of these different empires that we've heard about, or different peoples like the Nabateans? Occasionally you come across that reference. Well, who are they? Well, this tells who they were and where they were, including their famous site of Petra. Concepts of purity and impurity in the Second Temple period. How did they differ from, say, earlier or even later concepts? What was Qumran? This place where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. Who are the people that lived there? What did they teach? What did they do? How did they live? What did Second Temple Jews believe about Satan or related figures to Hasatan, the Satan? Who is Belial? Who is Mastema? What is the devil? What are the Targumim and why are they important? Very extensive discussion of the temple, its importance, its rituals, its layouts, all the way to the final entry on Zerubbabel and who he was, why he was important. And that's it. So, like I said, I just wanted to let you know about this as a resource. Those of you that are interested particularly in Judaism from late in the Old Testament times all the way through to past the time of the New Testament, this would be a great resource to have either digitally or on your shelf. It came out in 2010, so it's been out for 15 years now. But I just came across it, and what better time to share it with Dojo viewers than here during Judaism January. So check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments below if you've used the Urban's Dictionary of Early Judaism. But that'll do it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more resource reviews, teaching episodes, discussion with scholars and authors, and just all the stuff that we do here at Disciple Dojo, none of which we could do without you who subscribe and support this channel. So thank you all. We'll see you back here next time. As always, keep training.